What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another new comic book day top 10 list. This is the last new comic book day of the year. I cannot believe how fast this year went by. I hope you guys all had a fantastic holiday and spent some time hanging out with your family. In today's video, I'm going to be going over all the books I picked up this week for December 28th, 2022's new comic book day. I managed to grab 11 total issues this week. I honestly thought it was going to be a little bit lighter of a week, and it turns out it wasn't. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about books from Boom Studios, Image Comics, Marvel, DC, and AWA Upshot. As always, as I begin to talk about these books, just be aware that there's definitely going to be spoilers, but to give you a heads up, I put a spoiler tag down below in the corner to let you know that that spoiler is about to happen. So if you don't want to see it, just skip on to the next one. And now, without further ado, let's get started on this week's top 10 list. Alright everyone, as I said earlier, I grabbed 11 total issues this week, so you know what that means. One of them did not make this week's top 10 list, and I'm not going to be getting too in depth with it, but we've got Marvel's Venom, issue number 14. This is cover A, and this is a Dark Web tie-in for those of you reading the Dark Web event. I'll tell you what, in my opinion, this series has been an absolute letdown. Now, I know I'm not reading the Dark Web stuff, and I missed out on a little bit between that and the Amazing Spider-Man run, but I don't think this series is benefiting at all by having two different writers on it with two separate plot lines. As you know, we've got Dylan Brock and we've also got Eddie Brock, both of their plot lines. We got Ram V and Al Ewing on this story, and I don't think it's benefiting from it at all. This issue is a bit different from the other issues of Venom, but a good portion of it is being narrated from the Hallows' Eve perspective. Madeline Pryor's plans are finally being put into motion in this issue, so we do get to see a lot of action, but it's almost treated as if it's kind of a spy issue as well. They ended up wiping Eddie Brock's memories, and they're using him to break into one of the X-Men's facilities. Overall, I'm highly disappointed in this Venom series, just from start to finish. I honestly don't think it's that good at all. Now, the series has had some interesting moments over it, but in my opinion, every time they build something up with either Eddie or Dylan Brock, it just keeps completely falling short. My opinions, though, I want to hear yours down below. We're heading into a new year, and it is official, though. I am definitely going to be dropping this one on my poll list. I keep giving it another try, but we're 14 issues deep, and I just don't see it getting any better anytime soon. But now let's jump into the real top 10 list. And here we go, everyone, kicking this top 10 list off first. We've got coming in at number 10, this is Marvel's Moon Knight, issue number 18. This is cover A. This is another series that I've been very back and forth on. I think the beginning of the series has been a lot better than what we've been getting as of late. I'd say around maybe issue 10, maybe even 11 is when things started to drop off to me. Haven't been a big fan of the arcs. The action has been consistently fantastic throughout this series. Artwork really not bad, and as far as the storytelling goes, while I haven't been a big fan of most of the arcs, I do think the story is well told. Now, as far as this issue goes, I do believe that this is the end of the arc as well, and I think they did a really good job wrapping everything up. Moon Knight has finally made it to the International Vampire Conclave, and he's attempting to dismantle the structure. If you can recall, that's the organization responsible for turning Reese into a vampire, and he wants to take out the Tutor. That's the leader of everything. Moon Knight makes his big entrance, and he's finally face-to-face with the Tutor for the first time. So up until now, he's never even met him. So this issue did have some build-up, and I really liked what they did with it. While it wasn't exactly what I thought they were going to do, I thought there was going to be a lot more action since the build-up was there. Everything kind of ended pretty quickly, and it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. We got a decent amount of action, but Moon Knight had a plan in motion the entire time. One part of the issue that I actually enjoyed more than the action was seeing Soldier's part of the mission. While he was working, he was talking about how he got involved with everything with the Midnight Mission, Moon Knight, and his time with Hydra. So while the issue didn't go down exactly how I thought it was going to be, I think it did a fantastic job setting up the next arc, and we did kind of get left on a cliffhanger. We get introduced to a character that hasn't been in this series just yet, and I'm excited to see the role that they play. Not going to be talking about it in this video. Let's talk about it more down below. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 10 this week. This is Marvel's Moon Knight, issue number 18. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 9, this is Marvel's new one. We've got Timeless, issue number 1. This is the Miss Minutes variant. This is just a cool little one-shot they come out with. They did one last year too, although I think last year's was a lot better than this one. It's got some solid artwork, it's got some fun action going on in it, but the whole intended purpose of this issue, just like last year's, is to kind of showcase where Marvel's going to be going in the upcoming year for comics. I really like that they do that. We got to see some new characters, and they had a nice little mystery behind it all too. This is the same type of story like last year's issue. Once again, it focuses on Kang the Conqueror. This time, though, he's searching for the missing moment. That's pretty much what this entire issue is about. Kang controls literally everything about time, and he can have everything that he wants except this, and he's doing whatever he can to get it. He's told multiple times the missing moment isn't meant for him, but it's obviously not going to stop him. We get introduced to a few new characters, and on top of that, we get some awesome action moments. Though the one thing I did really like about this issue is the leader of all the new characters that we meet is still a mystery, and we're most likely going to get that person's identity at some some point in 2023. So in my opinion, I thought it was a good issue, not great by any means, but definitely enjoyable. Now, just so you're aware, when you do head to your LCS, it does have a $6 price tag on it. It is an oversized issue. We did get some nice moments in it, and it does have a couple first appearances as well, so I did feel as though I got my money's worth. But the one thing that I was waiting for, now I got last year's issue, I got this one as well. They both have missed minutes on the front cover. I'm just waiting for her to finally play a role in one of these comics. Maybe this is going to be the year. Hopefully 2023 is it. But for all those reasons, we've got coming in at number 9 this week. This is Marvel's new one, Timeless, issue number 1. Next up, we've got coming in at number 8. This is DC's The Nice House on the Lake, book number 12. This is cover A. This was supposed to be the series finale, but they left us on a nice little cliffhanger indicating that there's going to be another volume or something coming out involving these characters in The Nice House on the Lake. I'll tell you what, I was so excited for this series finale. I've been waiting for this issue for so long, but as the series progressed, I feel as though it just got so insanely boring. The storytelling was fantastic, and the artwork was great as well, but every single issue followed the exact same plot line. We've got Walter and a different character and their purpose in this house. I didn't exactly know what to expect going into this supposed series finale. Like I just got done saying, I feel as though the series became so monotonous and just boring. We haven't really made any progress towards anything. Every issue followed the exact same thing, Walter and a different character. But next thing we knew, we were more than halfway done with the series, and realistically, I knew nothing was going to happen, and it probably wasn't going to end, at least have a proper ending. In this issue, everyone just wants to get their revenge on Walter from what happened to Naya in the last one. What I will say is that I'm happy with the cliffhanger they left us on. I'm not going to spoil anything for what happens in this one because I know a lot of people have been waiting quite a while for this issue. So now, as far as the overall story goes, I think they had a phenomenal concept, and I absolutely loved what they did with the characters. They did an incredible job just progressing them. We got to see their relationship with Walter, why they're at this house, and their role that they specifically play at this house. So as far as single issues goes, they were all fantastic, and I loved what they did with it, but it really wasn't building towards something bigger. Once we hit the midway point, issue 7, 8, it's like, man, we're really not going to be getting a good ending. So that's personally what I was thinking the entire time. Now, if they would have told us it was going to be converted into an ongoing, we were getting another volume, that probably would change my perspective on a lot of things because I knew we were going to be getting more. But at the time of reading this, I wasn't expecting that. I want to hear your opinions on this one, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 8 this week, we've got DC's Nice House on the Lake, issue number 12. Next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 7, this is AWA's Year Zero, Volume 0, issue number 3, this is cover A. No doubt in my mind, Year Zero is hands down one of my favorite reads from AWA. Now, this is the prequel to all the other stuff, but you can start with this one as well. The other ones were pretty much already in the zombie apocalypse. We're just following some of the survivors as they're trying to live out their days, maybe figure out a cure, stuff like that. This one, it's all the before. It's everything leading up to it, and they have done such a phenomenal job with it so far. One thing that I've loved in comparison to the other 2 volumes is the storytelling and the progression of the zombie outbreak. In the other series, like I said, things are already bad and we follow the lives of the different survivors. This series has a totally different tone, maybe because it's not based on survival and the zombie apocalypse just yet. But in this issue, the world is slowly learning that something is going on and they don't know what to do about it. Our survivors are noticing more and more people are starting to wear masks again, and people are acting just a little bit more crazy than usual. Sadly, no outbreak yet in this issue, and I'm honestly not sure we're going to be seeing a real outbreak in this one, especially because it's technically a prequel. And now, like I just got done saying, because this is a prequel, you can definitely start with this one before the other 2 volumes, but I don't know, after reading this one, we're 3 issues deep, the storytelling is phenomenal in this one. It almost makes me appreciate it more because I read the other 2 volumes already, and we got to see the zombie apocalypse happen, we got to see all the different survivors and how they're trying to live out their days, and now this one, the storytelling just feels top notch. I seriously highly recommend checking out this one from AWA Upshot, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 7 this week, we've got AWA's Year Zero, Volume 0, issue number 3. Next up at number 6, we've got Marvel's Strange Academy Finals, issue number 3. This is cover A. You guys already know I'm a huge fan of Strange Academy. This is hands down my favorite ongoing series from Marvel. As far as superhero stuff goes from all the publishers, this is definitely up there. The artwork is fantastic. The storytelling is only getting better and better. Now, I will say with this issue, though, did have quite a few problems with it. It feels as though we missed an entire issue. Everything that they've been building up to just didn't happen in this one. So Gaslamp has allegedly been beaten, and now it's time to figure out out what to do next. The kids broke a ton of old laws and they need to fix everything and pay for what they've done. But they're way ahead of everyone on that. They've decided to host a carnival to raise money and fix everything that they destroyed. I mean, it was a cool story, but I was really looking forward to this massive battle between Gaslamp and all of the kids to save Calvin. Which, speaking of, Calvin is back and he's trying to figure out his place in everything now. But as you can imagine, not everything goes so smoothly. Cool thing about this issue as well is Emily makes an appearance, and I'm telling you, she is an evil girl now. I'm so excited to see what they do with her. But in this issue, she tries to get Calvin to team up with her. She brings the jacket back, some other stuff happens, and we get left on a nice cliffhanger. So while it's absolutely not the direction I was hoping for this issue, I'm pretty sure my last top 10 list and the previews video leading up to this top 10 list, I was so excited for this issue. I was ready for this big battle. Everyone needs to save Calvin. They're going to come together, and then that's going to lead probably into a brand new arc. So if you can look past all of that, it still is a good issue, just not what I was hoping for. But we get to see Calvin make amends. Emily is back, and I'm telling you, she's such an evil girl right now, and they introduced a brand new plot point, and I am so excited for it. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 6 this week, we've got Marvel's Strange Academy Finals, issue number 3. Here we go, folks. We're down to the top 5 issues of the week. So coming in at number 5, we've got Images, Plush, issue number 2. This is cover A. This is such an odd series, and I honestly, even after reading it, I don't know how to feel about it. I love the artwork. They did an incredible job with it. As far as this second issue goes, we almost got no story at all. It was just a lot of action. We got to see the furry cannibals, so I thought that was really cool. But seriously, this issue was just as weird, if not weirder than the last one. Everything is still pretty much just a mystery, though. Like, who are these furries? Why are they cannibals? And honestly, what is even going on at this point? Our main character is still locked up in jail and the furries come to the rescue. They've got some other motives as to why they came to rescue him. I'm not going to be spoiling that for you guys, but it was honestly a very gruesome issue and I am all about the artwork. So now as far as this series goes, if you haven't already started it, I would definitely wait for a trade paperback. While I did think the first issue was fantastic, I really enjoyed the artwork. I liked the characters. We even got some backstory on some of them. And at the end, we got some nice plot progression as well. Based on the second issue, it was a breeze. I'm telling you, it took maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes at most to get through the issue. And if they're going to be continuing on with that path, I personally would like to read it all at once because it doesn't take long to read it all. If you are reading the series, I want to hear your opinions on it down below. But like I said, it is a fantastic read so far. For those reasons, we've got coming in at number 5 this week, we've got Images, Plush, issue number 2. Next up this week at number 4, we've got Marvel's Carnage, issue number 8. This is cover A. This is another series from Marvel that I've been very back and forth on. I really like the beginning of the series a lot more than how it's kind of been. In the beginning, it was kind of, we got the detective, we got Carnage and his little lackey, and it was a mystery. The detective's trying to find them, he's trying to solve some murders, and a lot of cool stuff was going on. But then they went off-world, Carnage is trying to become a god again, and all this other crazy, wacky, wild stuff is happening. This issue, though, it didn't go exactly how I thought it was going to, but it was so much better. Initially, I thought this was going to be the beginning of the new arc, but it was actually more along the lines of a one-shot. It seems as though this is going to be a self-contained story. We see all of our main characters in the beginning of the issue, and they're dealing with the fallout from everything that happened in the last one, but it turned into something else, and it was really enjoyable. It slightly reminded me of Marvel's new Murder World series because we got to see a streamer interested in uncovering the unknown, and then a bunch of bad stuff happens. I didn't have high hopes for the issue, I honestly didn't, but it kept getting better and better as it went on. What started as a streamer looking for views going to St. Este's orphanage turned into a nightmare for him. He met face to face with Cletus Cassidy and he's showing the streamer what the house can do for him. It's just a matter of how much is he willing to give up for it. He got to see the highs and lows of his life and it honestly had a really solid ending. Now while I'm not usually one for tie-ins and kind of standalone issues, I feel as though this one was a really nice break from the main story. It went back to the beginning of this Carnage series where it kind of had a more horror theme to it instead of just off-world supernatural stuff going on. Just my opinion, I truly did think it was a fantastic read, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 4 this week, we've got Marvel's Carnage, issue number 8. Coming in at number 3 this week, we've got Images, Philadelphia, issue number 26. This is cover A. This series just keeps doing it. This is a phenomenal read from Image. But I'll tell you what, after that last issue in the solicitation, it said this is a great jumping on point for new readers. It absolutely was not a good jumping on point for new readers. And especially if you did jump on that issue and you started reading this one, I still stand by that. That would be a horrible time to jump on. You're going to be so lost. But take that for what it is. Description said, great spot for new readers. I don't think so. Now, this issue, it does pick up where the last one left off, and I think they did a phenomenal job with it. Like every other issue in this series, there is a lot going on. In my opinion, it's not hard to follow like some of the other ones though, but still, it has a few different plot points happening at once. We still have Anansi recruiting different gods in preparation for the big war, and that was cool and all. But my favorite part of the issue is on the other side of things, we get to see Abigail Adams, and we got a backstory on her. It pretty much showed us all of her early years until she met her husband, so it was a really cool, like, different side to her story. And then, if you're reading the series, you're gonna know there's a lot of other stuff that happens after that to her. There was some cool action going on behind the scenes, but nothing too crazy though. To me, this is a fantastically well-written series, and I really love the way that they've kind of moved on from just vampires in Philadelphia to now gods recruiting gods for a massive war. Demons are starting to do other stuff as well, and I'm telling you, I always talk about it. You need to also be reading Nita Hawes' Nightmare blog as well with this one. They're not hand in hand just yet, but some things are starting to line up. Take that for what it is, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 3 this week, we've got Images, Philadelphia, issue number 26. Folks, we're down to the final 2 issues of the week. So coming in at number 2, we've got Boom Studios. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, issue number 2. This is a variant cover. I had no idea that I was going to like this series as much as I do. It truly is fantastic in my opinion. This issue, it didn't really progress the story all that much, but we did get left on a nice cliffhanger. We got to see Mezzi and Maceo grow their relationship, and that was pretty much what this entire issue focuses on. Maceo is just this innocent kid, and despite the world being over, he still finds the good in everything, and he tries to enjoy what they do have. Mezzi, obviously, on the other hand, has seen a lot and has dealt with a lot from being in the Rangers. In the beginning of the issue, we get to see Mezzi wanting to give up on Maceo and just how much he actually drags her down, but we eventually see her mind just kind of shift. We get to see everything that Maceo is capable of, and like I said, it was just such a fantastic issue. I'm honestly completely sold in the series. After the first one, I didn't exactly know what I was getting myself into. I thought, oh, it's an apocalyptic love story, and I mean, it definitely kind of is, but it had nice artwork, it had a nice just overall plot, and I wanted to see where they went with it. This second issue completely sold me on the series. We get to see not a lot of plot progression. We did get it left on a little cliffhanger at the very end, but man, just seeing those two characters interact with each other and to see their relationship grow in this issue, phenomenally well done. Absolutely loved it. And the artwork was fantastic too. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 2 this week, we've got Boom Studios, Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, issue number 2. Here we go, everyone. This is it. My number 1 read of the week. We've got coming in at number 1. This is Boom Studios' new one. We've got Book of Slaughter, issue number 1. This is cover A. God damn, was this such a good book. I absolutely love this issue. It was phenomenally well done. And if you're a Something Is Killing the Children fan, this is absolutely the one we've all been waiting for. This issue seriously pretty much answers all of the questions that we've been asking since the beginning of this series. This one, it follows Cecilia and pretty much Maxine. She's primarily the main character in this one. Maxine gets approached by Cecilia about ditching her white mask and becoming a black mask because Erica probably isn't coming back to the house. So before she makes her decision, she goes to the library and reads the Book of Slaughter. I honestly went into this one expecting it to be just a holiday special or some characters killing a couple different monsters, but instead we got something truly incredible and special. This is something every Something Is Killing the Children fan absolutely needs to read. It answers so many questions that a lot of us have been asking. I know I'm biased when I'm talking about this book because it's one of my favorite ongoing series. Definitely my favorite ongoing from Boom Studios, but seriously, this one, hands down, one of the best Something Is Killing Children issues I've read in a very long time. Mainly because it does answer a lot of the questions I've been asking, but man, they did a great job going in depth with a lot of stuff. And for those reasons, we absolutely have coming in at number 1 this week, taking the crown, is Boom Studios' new one, Book of Slaughter, issue number 1. And that's a wrap on this week's top 10 list of books, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment down below what your top read of the week was and which ones you think I missed out on. And if you want to catch a couple more videos that I made, I've got 2 more sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.